Earnings from 5 of the magnificent 7 stocks due out this week. Microsoft and Google coming tomorrow ahead of Apple, Meta, Amazon on Thursday. Mandeep Singh, Senior Technology Analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence, joins us now for more. Mandeep, these stocks have had quite a run, haven't they? Are these earnings going to back it up?
I think so. And look, in the case of Microsoft and Meta, the top-line growth expectations are the highest. You compare it to Apple, flat top line. So clearly, there is a divergence in expectations. The key for me is how much incremental revenue is Meta going to generate from Gen AI or Microsoft. In the case of Microsoft, they're the only ones who have quantified it's 2% from Gen AI workloads. It'll be interesting to see how much they ramp up their CapEx and what that would mean in terms of top-line expectations going forward.
So let's pick out Meta. We used to say you can't cut your way to growth. Meta's got different ideas, doesn't it?
I mean, look, their business model is such where they can cut a lot, which they've shown in the past year. And, if they keep launching new products, the core business, even though they have engagement issues, they've been able to ramp up ad loads. Look at your ad feed for the Blue app. It's full with ads. And still they have 2 billion users logging into the app every day. So clearly it is a sticky product, and they're able to pull that lever where they increase the ad loads, lowered the cost base, and that's what's driving the stock here.
When it comes to Meta, and to some degree Apple, not so much, we'll get to Microsoft and Google in a second. How much are you listening for what they say around artificial intelligence, and how much is that really going to be noise versus some of the advertising that you're talking about and the actual revenue producing aspects of their business?
Yeah, so to me, Gen AI monetization right now is clearly around workloads. You want to run your large language model workloads on these clouds. And these clouds are the ones who are buying the NVIDIA GPUs. So there's a real inflation on the chip side. In fact, Microsoft did say their gross margins is going to take a hit because they can't match the revenue that's being generated from these workloads. But these workloads are sticky. These are multi-year workloads. So once they have the customer, the margin expansion will happen.
Hold up. Are you saying that NVIDIA's gain is Microsoft and Google's pain right now?
All of the software companies. Software is an 80% gross margin business. What is happening with the inflation in GPU prices is it's going to hit all the software guys who rely on chips because they have to pay up more. The gross margins will come down. Question is, can they pass it to the customers? And the answer right now is Microsoft has the best mousetrap because they have the OpenAI partnership. So they give you the best cloud to run your LLM. And over time, they'll be able to monetize it. The other ones are still figuring out, do I use Llama, open source approach? Do I use Anthropic? And that's something to find out.
Where is Alphabet in this race? I think if you'd asked us a couple of years ago who would win here, I think a lot of us would have said Alphabet and Google. Where are they?
Well, so Alphabet has that vertical integration where they have their own large language model, Gemini, and they want it across their cloud portfolio on the devices. Think of Android. So they want to bundle the large language model with your Android ecosystem. And I think it's a very good strategy. The problem they're having is the search business is getting attacked from all angles. Everyone, look at Bing, what they have done. They have partnered with Meta. They have partnered with every company out there to provide search because large language models are not real-time searches. You need real-time search component. That's coming from Bing.
And yet when I want to find out news about Bing, I probably search on Google still because Google for me is just a superior product, Bramo.
I recently Binged.
Did you? How did that work out for you?
Actually, I didn't enjoy it as much as Googling, and I did the Bing. And
personal reviews that count here.
I don't think I've ever Binged. I need to do it. You do, because it's the default on any PC. So that's the reason why they get some attitude. They get some eyeballs. I am curious, though. Google is potentially really in trouble. I mean, that's what I heard, at least from other tech people in Davos, who were saying, this was actually someone who actually could be disrupted. Do you believe that?
I mean, I think the narrative right now is Google is getting attacked because they have the 90% share in search. Everyone feels the value of large language model is in search and summaries. So technically, yes, their business model should come under pressure. But when you look at the engagement metrics, Google still has the engagement on Chrome, on mobile. So clearly, there is a threat that someone like Perplexity is an app that has become quite popular because people feel it's a better way to summarize content. And in some use cases, you are going to use a large language model instead of a Google search, but that doesn't take away the overall use case of search. And I think that's where Google definitely has an advantage.
We haven't mentioned Apple. And I find it interesting because right now we're talking about AI and we're talking about search and advertising. Does Apple belong in the Magnificent Seven, or should it be really lumped in with LVMH?
I mean, Apple's reliance on iPhone is very obvious here, that the fact that they don't have a cloud pivot or anything else, it's really device-based, but they still own the distribution. If you have to roll out your large language model or new search, you need that distribution that Apple has. So they will still call the shots. Problem is, they would love to buy a company for a large language model. M&A would be a great strategy, given there are so many large language models out there. They haven't done that. Anthropic, or all these companies that, Amazon has partnered or Google has had a minority investment in, and there are a number of large language model companies. So they need to beef that up. They have the distribution. The users will use whatever they offer because it's vertically integrated.
We've talked lots about market caps. Can we just finish on valuations? Just how stretched are valuations for some of these names?
I mean, look at what happened to Tesla. Everyone thought they would keep growing over 20%. When you have that kind of a miss where they lower the expectations, the multiples compress. And so right now, all these companies are priced for double-digit growth. And we know they can't keep growing at double-digit because the math doesn't work at their size. The top line can't grow double digits. So some of them will disappoint. Tesla was the first one. I think expectations are low for Apple. That goes in their favor.
Okay.
But clearly Meta, 21% top line growth. Can this sustain if they keep showing more ads on the feed?
Is that the lesson from earnings season so far for you, that we've rewarded beats maybe less than we've punished misses?
Oh, yeah. The bar is much higher this earnings season than it was last time. And with the multiples where they are, they better beat. I mean, that Gen AI component is huge for Microsoft. They better come out and say it's going to contribute at least 3% to our growth.
Mandeep Singh of Bloomberg Intelligence. Mandeep, good to see you.